Hey there everyone, Erica here from Highway 49 RC. If you are not aware, I am building a fully water-cooled Traxa slash 4x4. Radiators up in the front, water block on the ESC. I've got a motor copper tubing wrap thing. You can go check out the earlier videos if you want. And a coolant tank in the back. Today what I want to work on is I want to get everything plumbed together and wired up and get some water in this and do some just flow testing. The main thing I want to test is flow from the pump to the water jacket on the motor and how much output that gives compared to how much output is on the water block on the ESC. Because those are going to be basically split off in a Y, and I want to make sure that they're getting roughly equal flow. And then from there it'll go to the radiators and get cooled off. Off camera, well, on camera but in a separate video, I made myself a little on-off switch for my third channel. If you want to see how that's made, go and check out that video. It's up there, I think. That was a fun, super easy little deal. This is going to allow me to turn on my pump and my radiator fans from my radio, so if it's getting hot out, just flip a switch and we're getting cooled off. I also found a better box for the receiver that's also going to fit the third channel switch in it, so that's going to make everything nice and clean. I'm going to head over to the electronics bench and start getting this all wired up. So everything's wired up, and as you can hear, everything turns on from my radio. Except that the pump, the fans, still kind of keep running. And I think that's because I used a crappy low-res servo control board. So I might try making another controller out of a nicer, more expensive broken servo that I have. That might help that issue. I'm also worried that this is just not going to be able to handle the current that's going to be being pulled by the fans and the pump. Just when I was running the fans for like a couple minutes, this got kind of hot. So the other servo that I have in mind, I think is a 7.4 volt servo, and I think this one was probably out of a 6 volt servo. So that'll probably help that situation a little bit. But basically the situation we have is big mess. This is the controller. We've got power coming into the third channel controller from here, which just goes directly to the battery. And then out of the controller, it just goes to a 3-way splitter, 2 of which go to the fans, and 1 of which goes to the pump. So pretty straightforward wiring setup. A little bit messy, but I'll get that all like cleaned up later on. For now though, because this works, like if I just undo the controller and go straight to the battery, everything works fine. As you can see, I'm going to run a few temporary lines so that we can just test out our flow rates, and then I think we'll probably go from there as long as the flow rates look good. Alright, welcome to my bathtub. So basically the way I've got this set up right now is I'm just going to be plugging the pump in by itself to the battery, because we're just curious about flow rates, we're not really curious about cooling at all. So the first thing I want to see is just how much water the pump will actually move. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Quite a lot. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Happy with that. It's a lot more than I was anticipating, actually. Definitely felt the pressure go through when it kicked on. Now I want to... That's outlet, that's outlet. Now I'm going to take it and put it onto a splitter, which is going to split that flow between the water block and the cooling jacket. This is why we're in the tub, because this is just going to go everywhere at this point. Alright. Okay, so this is what I was worried about. Look at the difference in flow between this is out of the water block and this is out of the motor. So I pinched that off completely. So I think what I'm going to want to do is find some happy medium where I can restrict the flow to the ESC. I will want a little bit more flow to the ESC than the motor, but I don't want it to be that much of a difference, because that's quite a lot, you know, like somewhere around there would be ideal. So I'm still getting decent flow to the motor, but I do want more to the ESC, because that's what we're really concerned about cooling here. But I'm very happy that my motor cooler is actually working. Except that I see that it is leaking a little bit. That is an issue. Okay, so I went and grabbed a piece of medium tubing to go into the water block. The one that I had on there before was large. Large is 1/8 inch inner diameter. I'm not sure what medium is, but it looks to be about half the size, just in terms of volume. So let's see how much of a difference that makes. Not enough of a difference. It's a little better, but not enough better. Alright, just for the hell of it, I devised an even smaller restriction. It's not going to be a permanent solution. I think the real solution is going to be different, but just for the hell of it, we'll give it a shot. And let's see, which two are we looking at? These two. Yeah. That's actually really even. Hopefully you can see that good enough. A little bit more coming out of the water block, just like I wanted. Not quite as much going through the motor, but honestly, if I'm looking for just even flow in this current setup, that's it right there. Okay. Running out of water. Okay, so, in terms of my water jacket flow rate issue, I went and ordered some larger tubing, 2 larger sizes, so that I can double, and then if I need to, quadruple the flow that I currently have. I got 1/16 inner diameter, which should double it roughly, and then I got, I think, 5/32 inner diameter, and that should quadruple it if I need. So that's that, hopefully taken care of. Of course, I'll make that off camera most likely, or maybe on camera, I don't know, who cares, we'll see. But I've been messing around with my on-off switch, and check this out. I think I have actually figured something out here. Okay, this looks like a mess, and I assure you it is, but let me explain. It currently works. Okay, it worked. So, basically, same setup as before. Power going into the servo. We're adjusting the potentiometer to basically turn the pump and fans on and off. I thought these electronics in this servo were dead, just from the past, because I didn't remember. This thing is so old. Turns out the motor was dead. I hooked up my multimeter to it, and I was getting proper output, so that was all good. So I'm just monitoring the output basically on it, just for fun. Got the pump hooked up to it. The fan is also hooked up to it, just for the hell of it, and it mostly works. If I get it trimmed right, which I currently have it trimmed right. it turns on and off very nicely. It's a matter of finding that perfect sweet spot. This potentiometer is unbelievably touchy. I am considering swapping out that potentiometer for a better one. Maybe that'll help me find the center better, I don't know. Or maybe I just hold it here and keep the trim at, you know, minus 48 or whatever ridiculous number it needs to be at. But basically, long story short, I had found one point where the pot was in the right spot, where my trim was at 0, and it turned on and off perfectly. It's a hard spot to find though, as you saw. So, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna keep working on this off camera, get this all dialed in, and basically, okay, we can drop that, that's fine. Make another one of these out of it, and get it all wired up. Let me tell you, there's an uncanny amount of wiring packed into that little receiver box. But in there is the receiver, my 3rd channel controller, and just a bunch of the extra wiring to make the rest of this nice and clean. It should be waterproof. There were enough slots on it to get all the wires out. What I'm going to do now basically is just kind of finish cleaning up a little bit of the wiring, and then I'm going to start doing a little bit of the hose running, but not all of it, because I still have to make a new water jacket, as I mentioned previously. Alright, so I'm actually going to cut this video here because it's long enough as it is, and the way the next stuff is going to play out for the series, it just makes more sense if I cut this episode here. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, comment down below if you are excited for episode 5, which we're going to be making 2 new water jackets, hopefully, and getting everything plumbed together. The next video up on the channel, I think, should be pretty freaking awesome, so you guys better watch out for that one. That's going to be insane. I'm going out to film that tomorrow. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at highway49_RC. Support me on Patreon if you can, and join the Discord server as well. Pictures, as always, go up before these videos, so it's worth going and joining for sure. Become a member too if you can. That'd be fantastic. God, this outro is so janky. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.